This is the Kensington ProFit Ergo vertical trackball mouse that I've been using for the past 3 months, paired with the M1 Mac Mini as my daily driver. If you have watched my previous 24 hours review, a lot has changed since then, and in this video we will talk about everything there is to know about the Kensington ProFit Ergo vertical trackball mouse, the things I like and dislike, and ultimately give you guys my honest review and impression of this mouse. That being said, let's dive right in. Hi, my name is Ken and welcome back to the channel where we talk about filmmaking, photography, gadgets related, and tech. If any of these piques your interest, consider subscribing to the channel as you may learn a thing or two from these videos. So today we'll be talking about this trackball mouse that has earned its place on my desk setup and it has been my daily driver for the past 3 months. Here are all of the topics that I'll be discussing today. Sit back, relax and enjoy the video. Let's dive right in. Starting from the unboxing, it comes in a carton package with a white cover, as you can see right here, the Kensington ProFit Ergo Vertical. And on the carton packaging is just the Kensington's logo. Now, taking a look at inside the box is the ProFit Ergo Vertical mouse, and at the side it is the USB dongle. The mouse comes pre-installed with 2 AA batteries inside. There is also a user manual and a warranty card, and that's basically everything that comes out of the box. Now, let's move on to the dimensions and build quality of this mouse. The Kensington ProFit Ergo Vertical sits at around 9cm in width, 13cm in depth and about 6.8cm in height, and the whole package sits at around 200 grams. The trackball alone weighs in at about 25.5 grams and has a trackball diameter of 34mm. The trackball is swappable for replacement or if you need to clean the surface of the trackball. Now, taking a look at the overall build, it is made with good quality plastic and overall feels pretty solid. It has a total of 10 buttons, 9 being programmable. Starting from the top, you have your regular left and right click, and here is how it sounds. Quite clicky in my opinion. Unfortunately, it is not silent switches. Then we have the scroll wheel, a typical click-to-click scroll for scrolling web pages. The scroll wheel has a middle click button as well as 2 additional buttons which are not commonly found nowadays. The 2 additional buttons include tilting right and tilting left, which can be used as a horizontal scroll function by default, or you can customize it to any other function of your preference. Now, moving on to the left click side, there is 2 buttons similar to a back and forward button by default, but these 2 buttons are something out of an ordinary mouse. Well, the good things about these buttons are that they are customizable as well and they click pretty loud too. Now, onto the left of the buttons is an LED indicator that pretty much lights up only when turned on in green and red color when the battery is low, which I am currently assuming because I've been using the mouse for about 3 to 4 months and the battery health is still pretty okay. Then this is the central of where all the action takes place. This is the 35mm trackball that is responsible for all of your cursor movement. Overall, straight out of the box, it glides pretty smoothly and is pretty responsive. Looking at the design and placement of the trackball, there is a 60-degree tilt of where the trackball is being placed, making it very comfortable for a natural hand-holding position like such. Moving down the trackball of the sides of the Kensington ProFit Ergo, it has 3 additional buttons. Starting from the button where your thumb sits is the common forward and back button, but on the Kensington ProFit Ergo mouse, it is a customizable button by default. Well, they are not as clicky as compared to the left and right click. The button located all the way at the back has 3 icons above it. As you may have guessed, is the device switching button between the 2.4 GHz connection and Bluetooth connection. The Kensington ProFit Ergo Vertical is able to connect up to 3 different devices from 2.4 GHz and up to 2 Bluetooth devices. Now, from my previous video, the first thing that triggered me was the device switching time, which was horrendous to be honest, but we will touch on this in just a second. Moving on to the back of the mouse, as you can see, it has a couple of buttons as well. Starting from the biggest button is the trackball release button to remove the trackball for cleaning or replacement when needed. It is a welcome feature for people who want to change their trackball after some time of use for cleaning purposes or simply wanting to swap out for a different color that you can see right here. Then you have your regular on and off switch and a slot for you to keep your USB dongle, a device pairing button, and finally a DPI switch for quick toggling from 500 DPI up to 1500 DPI. There are also rubber feet all around the base of the mouse to prevent slipping, since there will be no gliding of the mouse across your table, so the only movement happens at your thumb. Maneuvering the trackball requires a high friction base at the bottom of the mouse. Lastly, the mouse is ultimately powered by 2 AA batteries that comes pre-installed that is housed right here. And here is a quick look again at the mouse, and that's basically everything about the design and build quality of the Kensington ProFit Ergo Vertical Trackball mouse. Now we'll be taking a look at the key features and the selling point of the Kensington ProFit Ergo Vertical mouse. I'll be sure to add in my point of view about these features as we go along the list. Starting from the ergonomics, the mouse is designed to be at a 60-degree angle, with your thumb comfortably resting on the mouse for navigation. The contoured body provides a support for the hand, naturally positioning the fingers over the right and left buttons. The index finger used for left clicking have two additional back and forward buttons, though the back button feels like it requires some time getting used to since it is placed pretty far back. So this hand grip position overall reduces strain on your arm, wrist, elbow and shoulder muscles, since the ProFit Ergo Vertical Trackball does not require the user to move or glide the mouse on a trackpad. However, first-time users with the trackball often find a small transitioning period when switching over. The trackball effectively counters the tendency to grip the pointing device too hard, where gripping the ProFit Ergo Vertical provides a very natural and relaxed hand gripping position. Next on the feature list is the amount of buttons available on the mouse. A regular mouse has probably 3 clickable buttons: left click, right click, and the middle button click. However, the ProFit Ergo Vertical has up to 4 additional buttons, all located at a very convenient spot. My favorite among all is of course the tilt right and tilt left function of the scroll wheel. It is such a phenomenal feature coming from the M720 Triton mouse from Logitech, which is one of very few mouses that have this feature. Even the more expensive MX Master 3 and 3S are missing out on this feature. It essentially replaces the need for a horizontal scroll, where tilting right simulates a right scroll and tilting left a left scroll. It can also be used as a volume control knob, copy and paste, or any function based on your preference. The other 2 buttons are situated near the index finger, which is also easily accessible, and the placement for these buttons couldn't be any better. Third on the feature list is connectivity. You get to connect up to 3 devices in total, a 2.4 GHz connection via the USB dongle, and up to 2 Bluetooth devices. And the device switching button is situated on the upper side of the mouse instead of being at the bottom like the Logitech Lift or the MX Master 3 or 3S. However, I have to say I'm utterly disappointed with how the device switching turned out to be. It seems like the device switching method takes up to a solid 3 seconds being able to switch to another device. Also, coming from my 24 hours review where I mentioned the frustration, I ended up getting a KVM switch to help with the switching. Although it defeats the purpose of having a device switching button on top of the mouse. That being said, the KVM switch that I have right here solves the problem switching between 2 devices with just a single click. Overall, 3 device connection should be a standard for any mouse nowadays, as you will never know how many devices you want to end up pairing it with. Fourth on the list is software customization. Now this part ought to be a little gimmicky. Hear me out. See, I've been using the Kensington ProFit Ergo on both platforms, and there is a huge problem on the M1 Mac Mini, and I will talk about it in just a second. The company Kensington have their own Kensington Work application that you can download to customize your bunch of settings, and even have it sync to your Google account across different devices. As you can see here, you have a bunch of settings that you can choose from, very similar to what Logitech options have to offer in terms of versatility. For trackball mouses, there is one new thing that I discovered, a setting that you can play around, which is the ball acceleration. I am not sure if this is the exact same setting as a DPI function. From what I understand is from adjusting this particular setting, as you increase the acceleration, it reduces the amount of force needed to glide your thumb in order to move the cursor across the windows. Simply saying, increasing the sensitivity of the optical sensor. The higher the settings, the lower your required force. From the Kensington Works application, you can customize all the forward and back button, as well as the tilt right and tilt left function. Have I already mentioned that this is my favorite button? Now back to the big issue with M1 Mac Mini. So recently I've been using Steer Mouse as my mouse customization tool, and thankfully Steer Mouse works extremely well with button customization and even key coding, which means combining a series of button presses can easily be done on Steer Mouse. All was well until I decided to install Kensington Works on my M1 Mac Mini, and it was my worst decision ever. Since installing the Kensington drivers, the trackball mouse seems to have some trouble with the moving of the cursor. An example would be spinning the trackball faster seems like it would cause the cursor to orbit in a weird way. This does not seem to be present when connected to a Windows machine, as I suspect the Kensington drivers installed seems to be interfering with the steer mouse settings that I have before on my M1 Mac Mini. Also, it seems like steer mouse is no longer able to access the Kensington mouse even though it appears to be connected to steer mouse, however it doesn't reflect any customization. Uninstalling Kensington works, even a deep uninstall doesn't do anything. I've emailed both steer mouse and Kensington for support, but they themselves couldn't help. I also went to Reddit to look up for some people facing the exact same issue, followed those steps in which they also failed. So I resorted to formatting my Mac to a clean state, and lo and behold, steer mouse works well again. That is of course using steer mouse as the customization tool. Since then, I've been staying away from the Kensington works on my M1 Mac Mini, but I still use it on my Windows machine. Now, on the final note about user experience with the Kensington ProFit Ergo vertical mouse, first off the bat, I find the cursor to be suffering from some sort of micro jitters when using on the M1 Mac machine, similar to what I experienced on the MX Master 3 as well as the Logitech Lift. However, it works smoothly on the Windows machine. I even got my hands on a brand new trackball, thinking that there was a small dent on the trackball causing the glitching, but unfortunately the results came back to be the exact same. The cursor tends to glitch here and there from time to time, and for this the user experience has been greatly affected. In terms of position since the glitching, I'm not going to lie and say that it works the same as an optical mouse. I click a little slower, but I would say that I can retain up to 90% click rate with the trackball mouse. I've also noticed that the stuttering only happens when the mouse starts moving at the beginning, and once it starts gliding, it is pretty smooth. That being said, something that I really enjoy from the trackball and why I think I will continue using it is the ergonomics. The fact that I've never needed to glide the mouse to move my cursor, and the feeling on my finger and wrist being at a very comfortable position just amazes me. The 60-degree angle definitely provides a relaxed and natural resting position. So here is my quick summary of the goods and bads of the Kensington ProFit Ergo vertical mouse. The good consists of excellent ergonomics, tilt function on the scroll wheel, ample room of customization for each buttons, multi-device connection across Mac and Windows platform, uses AA batteries for ease of replacement and guarantees at least a year's worth of battery, removable trackball for cleaning or replacement, USB dongle slot to keep the dongle when not in use, and lastly, first and third party button customization software. Some of the cons include stuttering cursor experiences only on the M1 Mac and the device switching mechanism that takes way too long to switch between devices. That's pretty much all that I can think of using it over the past 3 to 4 months. Now, with all of the goods and bads that we have talked about, the Kensington ProFit Ergo Vertical is sold at about $90 US for about 374 ringgit. Comparing this to the even more expensive MX Master 3 for $100, which is about 468 ringgit. If you're out in the market looking for trackballs, there are a few competitors out there like the Logitech MX Ergo for about $88, the MX M570 that you can pick up for around $50. So should you get the Kensington ProFit Ergo Vertical Trackball mouse? I will let you decide it for yourself. That's basically all the things that I have for you in this video. I hope you have found this video insightful. If you have any questions at all or anything that you want me to test out, let me know in the comments down below. I'll be sure to get back to you guys as soon as possible. As always, thank you all so much for tuning in. My name is Ken and I'll catch you all in the next one. Stay safe, peace out, and bye bye. We are done!